Hi, I'm Brock Jolly, founder of the College Funding Coach, and we're here to help families make one of the smartest financial decisions and most challenging decisions that they may ever face: how to pay for college without sacrificing their future finances. One of the challenges in the financial planning world is figuring out how to balance college and retirement. Just a little bit of the background. I'm a financial advisor. I got into the financial planning industry in the middle of 2000. And for those of you who may have been paying attention back then, that was right in the middle of the dot-com bubble bursting. And so as a brand new financial advisor, I was going around talking to lots of families. And I'll tell you, the question that I kept hearing over and over and over again from parents was, Brock, how are we going to pay for our kids' college education? And to be honest, in those early years, I didn't have a very good answer. And so as any young professional, what do? You go ask the people who might have the answers, the people who have been doing this for a long time. And so I did my research and I talked to a lot of my mentors and peers. And I figured out that, quite frankly, they didn't really have the answers either. And so I started to research it. And I figured out that while college funding is one of the top financial fears of many American families, most in the financial planning world don't truly understand the ins and outs of how financial aid works and the admissions process and all of this. And, it's really interesting because college funding plays such a critical part in really the fabric of American life. And yet we've seen that over the course of the last 25 years or so, college has gotten exponentially more expensive than anything else in the economy. And so we here at the College Funding Coach have made it our mission to work with families to help them through the process of saving, planning, and paying for college. And so this podcast, Little Known Secrets of Paying for College, is going to tackle those exact issues. We're going to help families navigate the maze of figuring out how to pay for children's college education, how to navigate all of these decisions. And for parents who want to be smart about that, right? Do I send my kids to just an in-state public school? I hear from parents all the time. They say, my kid can go to any school they want as long as it's an in-state public school. And, let's face it, maybe that's not the right approach. Maybe they should have a different approach for this. And number two, how do they navigate that without the arguments and the back and forth? Teenagers are a tough crowd. And so how do you work with your children to have a smart approach to this entire process? What we'll do is help you solve this problem. We will bring in experts, whether they be financial advisors, college counselors, maybe attorneys, CPAs, et cetera, and just experts who can help families navigate this maze. From time to time, we might have a 30,000 foot overview type of discussion. And other times we might really get into the weeds with certain topics. We'll bring in advisors from the College Funding Coach team to help families learn about the work that we do and how we do it. We might occasionally have case studies. Most importantly, we want to hear from you. If you've got things that you'd like us to discuss on this podcast, let us know. You can send us an email. You can reach us on the website. You can let us know exactly what you'd like to hear more about, what you'd like to learn about. We started this podcast really to be a resource for you, whether you are a parent concerned about how you might pay for your children's college education, or maybe you're a student trying to figure out how to navigate this and what the resources or tools are that are out there that you might be able to use. Maybe you're a counselor who wants to provide more value to the families with whom you work. Maybe you're a financial advisor who's one of those folks that I talked about, and you'd like to learn more about how to help your clients navigate this. Or maybe you're saying, hey, I'd like to get in front of more families who are trying to navigate this. Either way, this is going to be a resource for you that we hope is just chock full of lots of information, great conversation, and tools that can provide value for each of you in that journey. The real problem we're trying to solve is very simple. College is more expensive than ever. The demand for college education is higher than it's ever been. And yet families are really spread thin trying to figure out, do I save for retirement or do I save for my kids' college education? Well, what if you could do both simultaneously with the same dollars by just being smart about it and maybe thinking earlier about how you might navigate it and that type of thing? So, um, we're going to talk about lots of topics. We're going to talk about broad college funding strategies. We're going to talk about student loans and scholarships and appealing financial aid. And we're going to talk about the FAFSA and the CSS profile and all of that. We're also going to talk about tools and strategies and ways that you might think about your children's education or a student's education. We'll talk about things like multi-generational education planning and lots of things that we're really passionate about here at the College Funding Coach. We're going to have this podcast come out twice per month, so you'll be able to tune in and come back and learn more as we go. We'll have interviews with our subject matter experts. Sometimes it'll be just me. Sometimes I might have a co-host on the show. You'll get to know our team at the College Funding Coach. You'll get to know the type of work that we do, the impact that we're having on families, and hopefully how we make a real difference in the lives of the families with whom we work. Again, we'll be featuring financial advisors, maybe some families who have worked with us over the years, and college aid experts from around the country. Expect episodes, like I said, every other week, packed with practical tips that you can go and implement immediately. The why behind this is it's really important to us. Again, families think about college and the impact that it will have. And college is really that intersection of identity where, maybe if you're a parent, you say, what kind of parent am I? What do I want to provide for my child? It's fear. What will the impact be if we pay for our child's college education? Or maybe we've got 3 or 4 or 5 children. How can we do that? And how do we do that equitably? We'll answer some of those questions. Maybe there's pride involved. We want the best for our child. Maybe there's something to do with family legacy of around education and making sure that your kids are well educated, et cetera. Maybe there's even a little bit of guilt in there. If I don't educate my child, what that means. Wherever you are, I promise you it's okay. And we want to navigate this with you. And you're not alone, right? Millions and millions and millions of families have navigated this process before you, and millions of families will navigate this after you. The key is helping you understand what those resources and tools are, and how you can continue to navigate this. What I love about it from a college planning or financial planning perspective is that college funding really sits at the exact intersection of urgency, emotion, complexity, cash flow, and multi-generational planning, while also creating earlier, deeper, and more durable client relationships than, quite frankly, retirement planning ever can. As a financial advisor, so often we're focused on retirement planning. And while retirement planning is critically important, for so many families, their focus is the more urgent of, how do I pay for my kids' college education? I've got to get over that hurdle before I can really focus on retirement. Yet I've been saving for retirement maybe since I was 22 years old and I started my first job. And so just that balancing act, and understanding that retirement planning optimizes money that people already have, while college funding solves a crisis people are actively living through. And I think that's a big difference. And then, what we do, I always say we do comprehensive financial planning with a focus on college funding. For clients who own businesses or things like that, we're talking about that. We're talking about estate planning and legacy, and college funding is just such a natural and great door opener. And that's why I love being in this space. And so, it's interesting as a young financial advisor, I started in this business and started doing college funding, as I said, and that light bulb just went off of, this is just an awesome opportunity to have impact and help so many families who are navigating this process. And so maybe not by design, but certainly by default, it became the niche where we've specialized. And it has allowed us to build some amazing relationships with families, not only around the country, but even around the world. And so great opportunities there. So I would encourage you, if you're listening to this podcast, again, if you have questions, please let us know. You can subscribe, you can follow the podcast. We'd ask you to leave a review if you're interested in the topic. Please share it with your friends and family. Additionally, follow us on social media. We've got a massive group on Facebook. You can search for Little Known Secrets of Paying for College, and you'll find lots of parents just like you, but you'll also find our team of advisors from the College Funding Coach. You'll find college and career counselors. You'll find CPAs, attorneys, financial advisors, et cetera, admissions experts, financial aid experts who can also help you as you navigate this process. So if this sounds like guidance you've been looking for, please hit that follow button so you never miss an episode. With that, I'm Brock Jolly from the College Funding Coach. Thanks for joining us for Little Known Secrets of Paying for College.